Voila. In a few minutes, we're going to have a Ravens Bears podcast as usual. We going all over the league and we focus in on two teams, the Ravens and the Chicago Bears. Well, man, DJ Bill. Now, before we get that started, I got a few bones to pick. Now, me personally, have been following the Chicago Bears since '84. Personally, right? Never knowing they was going to win the Super Bowl. Never thought about none of that. I just love players. Walter Payton, Mike Singletary, Richard Dent. It was like my Matt Suey, like my favorite players on the team. You know what I'm saying? So from '84, my heart has always been with the Chicago Bears. I can care less about another team. If the player ain't on my team, he is usually, basically, not good to me. He's irrelevant. And I don't care nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? I'm strictly Chicago Bears for decades now, right? Over the last couple of years, man, I've been tuning into podcasts from Chicago Bears podcasts, and certain podcasts in the area, just to keep up with really Justin Fields, right? Because when he got drafted, it made me more in tune with getting into rosters and drafts and all this stuff. All my years of watching the Chicago Bears, I never watched and paid no attention to drafts. Who was the GM? None of that shit, right? All I care about was when the joint come on, the team that was on the team, that was on the field. That's the only thing I cared about. I didn't care about the back scenes, who was doing what. It was irrelevant to me, right? Fast forward, right? All these years, like a time zone, just flowing. Now you're in 2023. All those years, we had these white quarterbacks, right? You could throw in a black one, maybe here and there, but they all were the same quarterbacks, bro. Just sit in the pocket and get it out real quick shit, right? Meanwhile, out of all these years, I'm watching all these quarterbacks like a Mike Vick, Kaepernick, you know, Josh Allen. I'm thinking, damn, I would love to have one of those on my team, bro. You know what I'm saying? That quarterback just dip out. Finally, we draft a quarterback. Now I'm in tune. Now I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Not just because he's black, more so because this is what I wanted. I wanted this style of quarterback in my team, on my team, right? I wanted more foes, Daltons, to stand in the pocket and 300 yards. Nobody cares. 300 yards and you lose. There's no time for that. Give me a quarterback and throw 250, and then a run out the back for 100. That's what I'm looking for. And the football guys dropped him in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to start the podcast where Baltimore Ravens have the same type of quarterback. To me, this is the quarterback of the future. It has nothing to do with race. You know? It's just the bottom line to it. The most athletic people are going to be black. That's not our fault. That's just the way of life. You know? So if you get the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL, you can't then tell them, I want you to be like Montana. Stay here. Go there. Look there. Time. No. You got to let these quarterbacks be them. That's why they knew. That's why it's a new age to this. You know? Montana, Reno, that shit was cute. Stand there and just zip it around. That's cool. These days, any quarterback can go 300 yards. It's just too easy. You're going to still lose. You need an impact player at the quarterback position, baby. And that will bring me to the most important thing here. Last couple of weeks, Justin Fields been hurt. And we had a backup in, right? Undrafted rookie. That all of a sudden, the Chicago media deemed better than Justin Fields. So to me, I can interpret that the way I want, right? I can say, you know what? They right. Or I can say, why not give the black man a chance to even quarterback? What are we doing? You know? Why not give them the opportunity to be the style quarterback they are? Why gotta be, all right, now we're gonna coach you, do this and do that. Don't stand here, do that. No. Just tell me the plays. Don't worry about how many steps I'm taking and is my pocket's presence and all that. Forget that. Give me the play and let me do me. Simple. Nope. We want to draft these quarterbacks and then turn them into Montana. What are we doing? Is that the way this thing's supposed to be played? So we get undrafted rookie. He gets it out fast or whatever the hell is going on. Man, throw two blind, just close your eyes picks and nobody cares. But you're going for 2 hours talking about Jeff one missed that pass in the corner. Really? It's ridiculous. Now, which brings me to a point of this podcast. We got two fans of the NFL football team, Chicago Bears and Ravens, and we both have this problem with our quarterback. Well, Baltimore now he came over his problem because now he got paid. Finally, after doing all that to get paid. But people don't think we're supposed to call this racing. We're gonna call it the way we see it, right? Don't care what feelings that hurt. Right? If we pointing out dog whistles, you can't hate on that, bro. We telling you gotta listen when we point those out. Chicago funny, bro. The Chicago fans, Chicago media is real funny. They would definitely switch on your ass, flip flop. I mean, I don't know if they would do white quarterbacks like that. But I guarantee if a white quarterback ran for 1,200 yards last year, it'd be no way in the fuck 4 games into the following season, they'll want him removed. It's just not possible. If the Bears had Josh Allen, he ran for $1,200 last year. Started the season off struggling at the first beginning of the season. You think the Chicago fan base would want to get rid of him? Or would they start blaming everybody else for it? What you think? Bruh, I never seen a quarterback get nitpicked. I've been watching football. I told you, I've been watching this shit since 84. A little longer than that. Because I was in there watching my mother and them, who was Redskins fans, going against the Cowboys all the time. And I used to love Tony Dorsett. Watching football all the way to now. I don't give a fuck what you say. It makes me a professional critiquer of this shit. I see more than enough to know what's right, what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And we got a dynamic quarterback like that, bro. And you got coaches that want to just say, okay, do it this way, though. And then when you get the chance to do your thing. No. Once I get the ball, I do my thing. You get the difference? Just tell me to fucking play. That's it. I'm at the point where it should but not be no more coaching for Justin Fields. There's no more coaching. Don't coach him. In fact, fire all quarterback coaches. Eliminate that. There's no more coaching. All we're doing with him is giving him the ball. The play is, Justin, that's it. Do you? Now I know two steps. Nah, do the progressions. Nah, not no Montana shit. The other cases, there's no need to have him here. You might as well just kept Dalton, Foles, or this clan you got now. Undrafted. Do that. I mean, I really don't think there's no way possible that the GM of the Chicago Bears is looking to have this normal, bland quarterback standing back there, bruh. I just don't see it, especially when you come directly from the Chiefs. Now, which gets me in my second thing here. Chicago Bears again. All this time and watching them and watching the players, watching whoever coach they put out there, whoever owns it, whoever runs it. All the way between that. And you literally have, get this, president of operations in Chicago who is black. You literally have the GM and run operations, football operations, black. Assistant GM, black. That's to most people, most fan bases in Chicago. That's irrelevant to them, right? 99% of the black fans that follow the Bears, that means something. And that's where you get the culture divide, right there. Where you follow the team, Chicago Bears, I've been following for years. Their fan base is mainly white. It's 75% white. The little bit of black fan base that's a Chicago Bear fan, voices are not heard as far as get rid of coaches and get this person. Never. It's all the white culture pushing in these narrations. That's it. That's not our fault. That's how it is. No matter what we want, you know, we want Lovey still fucking be here. So it's irrelevant what we want, you know. You couldn't pull one black person who want to get rid of Lovey Smith. So it shows you that the culture of black people in the Chicago fan base is not that big. So when we get a Justin Fields, where mostly the black culture is going to back him, right? That's where you get the divide. But the divide is skewed because the fan base as a whole is dominated by white culture. So for a black quarterback, or any quarterback that can do the athletic things that's being done by Mike Vick, Justin Fields, that type stuff, for them to operate in the NFL, you have to let them be them. There's no way else around that. There's nowhere else around. You got to let them be who they are. You know? A third rant. The media in Chicago want to fire everybody. All the time, bro. All the time. 16 months ago, they wanted to fire the last coach, bro. Just 16 months. Literally. It's like, can we at least let somebody build some continuity here, bro? At least do that. Can we at least have a smooth selling of at least 4 years for people just to do things? There's no way you can like the Bears and want them to tank every fucking year, bruh. Every year. So I'm at the point where I'm fed up, right? Because I come in from time to time, chime in certain podcasts in the Chicago media. And it just burns me up. So before we get into Ravens Bears podcast, I had to just let off some steam, you know? Chicago Bears, Ravens.
All right, welcome into
The Bears Ravens podcast, you know?
Block Nation Speaks
T3P podcast. All the Bears fans know me.
Your Baltimore Ravens
The Bears
podcast, where we talk about the best team in NFL history.
The Bears.
If you're a Ravens fan, of course.
Passionate Ravens. Passionate Bears. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's what we do. You know? Yes, indeed.
What's up? What's up with you?
Here we go. It's a new week.
New week.
A lot going on, too. We had the trade deadline going on. There's a lot going on this week, baby.
Yeah, it looked like the rich got richer with the 49ers. I tell you, they was grabbing everybody. I mean, if it won't nail down, they was grabbing. They said, we're going to sign you to a roster.
Oh, yeah. They were snatching them up. I don't know. Like, to me, I think they can get as many people they want, right? Brock Purdy. What do you think about him?
What do I think about Brock Purdy? Hold up real quick before I give my thoughts. You was on a rant. I heard you was on a rant about something. I'm just curious to what you was talking. You know, was it a Bears rant or was it something else?
Oh yeah. It's definitely Bears. The Bears meter itself. You know what I'm saying, dog? And then we don't went into a coaching shock right here with the black quarterback, bro. You know what I'm saying, dog?
Okay.
So that burns me up a little bit.
I feel you. It's funny because for me, like the Brock Purdy thing, I'm trying to start my stream too. I don't want to leave my people out just in case they want to hear my thoughts on Brock Purdy, because I've never went on record to talk about Brock Purdy. Okay, but I will say, for me, when I think about Brock Purdy, and I think a lot of people are starting to feel this way, especially after the last couple of weeks. You've seen what Brock Purdy is, and you've seen what Brock Purdy is not, right? And some of us had to do with injuries around him, but it's up. Sometimes it's up to the quarterback to kind of band-aid some of those issues, and Brock Purdy is not a guy who's going to band-aid those issues. Some of the greats all time, they band-aided some issues that you will see. Even with Tom Brady, he didn't always have the most talented cast, but he knew how to get the ball to the people when they needed to get, when in the space that they needed to be successful in. So it's like, Peyton Manning, when there was injuries and stuff like that, or lack of running game or something like that, he knew what to do. And I feel like with Brock Purdy, my biggest issue with Brock Purdy is I don't know if he seems like a really good game manager, right? He gives off the same kind of swag that Jimmy G gave off when he was in San Francisco, right? Like a guy who is good under a good coaching staff, and good with talent around him. But when you take him out of that situation, and it's hard to say, because of course, if you take somebody out of a good situation, you put him in a bad situation, it's kind of like what? But just looking at him from a talent perspective, he just don't move the needle to me. Like, he ain't going. I don't feel like he's a guy who's going to throw you open. I've been kind of raving about him all year, more so just saying, before these last couple of weeks, more so just saying like he's going to make the right play and he's not going to turn the ball over. And he's been lacking that lately, right? He's been lacking making the right play and not turning the ball over. And maybe that's because things got a little bit more difficult for him lately, because you don't got Deebo Samuel and you got, injuries with Christian McCaffrey and some of the other guys, right? The guys you expect to be there, the guys you expect to make an impact, they ain't, unfortunately, they ain't been there. So, I mean, overall, to me, Brock Purdy, I mean, he's an okay guy, right? He probably falls. He's probably better than maybe a guy like a Daniel Jones. As much as I love Daniel Jones, I've been on the Daniel Jones train, but Daniel Jones ain't truly proven it to me yet, right? So, he's probably in that like average to below average tier. That's just what I think.
See, Brock Purdy is like an example of what I was ranting on earlier, right? It's like what the lowest bar for a white quarterback, bro? Just throw it on time. It's like the lowest bar. That's all they have to do, and they be boosted up to be the superstar from that point on. Like anybody watch Purdy last year or this year, see a player that has not much talent, bro. You can see a player that is benefiting from the talent around him. It is obvious. And all you got to do is not make mistakes. And all this stuff should work. You feel me?
What's crazy about it though, because if we want to bring the race aspect of it into it, into this discussion, you think about how many other really talented guys that came in with that may have came in with hope early on in college. Maybe they had some injuries or something like that. I think of a guy like a RG3. I think of a guy like Cam Newton, right? That maybe had some injuries but had success in the league at some point in time. They don't get as many chances as everybody else. Now I get it. RG3 got a couple chances here and there, but for the most part, he got chances as being a backup, and that was about it, right? Yeah. Like nobody was after Washington. It felt like nobody was like, "Oh man, we got to give RG3 a chance to be the starter." I think he was a starter in Cleveland for a little bit, but I mean, it's Cleveland, right?
He was rookie of the year. Oh, no, he wasn't rookie of the year. Did he win something?
He was rookie of the year, I think.
He was?
Yeah, he was rookie of the year. He took that team to the playoffs. Like, I mean,
now you see what I'm saying?
You talking about early success, like and we talking about an organization who has failed many a quarterback over the years, right? Like, let's be honest, Washington is not the greatest quarterback whispering organization in the world, no matter what the talent they have on there. Sam Howell's a good quarterback, but unfortunately, he could fall victim to what we see right now.
But the league itself, right, should like when people come free or something like that, if you prove yourself, the league itself, you know what I'm saying? It's not a certain team. But like overall, if you prove yourself, you're gonna be seen, somebody gonna pick you up if you know what I'm saying, show some type of skills.
Yeah.
I would think. But the lowest denominator for most of these quarterbacks, the Brock Purdy's, the who was in Dallas, Cody, whatever the fuck his mother's name is. Then you had another one in New England, Trippy. What was that? Tippy or some shit? Got that one. You just yanking these people out who really ain't doing nothing for real, and blowing them up to something they not. The same thing happened with Garoppolo. That's how he got most of his motherfucking contracts.
Well, it's like I talked a lot about. I used to talk about Sam Bradford was one of those guys, right? I get it. He was and it's hard because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and be like, well, but he was the number one overall pick and he deserves a little bit of slack. Like, yeah, but we don't give these other guys the same slack as we gave everybody else. Cam Newton is a former MVP, but we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about the time he got brought in halfway through the season and the results weren't good because you got brought in after training camp, after the preseason, after 8 games of regular season. Okay, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I think it's getting better because I think black quarterbacks are starting to become almost the majority, right? Like, you don't like I can't remember who I was talking to about it. I should name a show. I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but like I was talking to somebody about how quarterbacks are like there's a different style of quarterback now. We talk about it every time we come on too. And think about it, like that stand in the pocket, statuesque quarterback, can't move around, can't do anything. It's the last of a dying breed right now, right? You're gonna at this point in time, at this point in the NFL, as athletic as defenders are, as athletic as everybody else is on the other side of the ball, you got to be at least a little bit athletic nowadays. You just do.
Hell yeah.
You know, to get, I mean, look at Myles Garrett, don't even look like a friggin' defensive end. Look at the Bosa's, don't look like, you know, they don't, these ain't the defensive end of old, right? You know, these
They
are
can walk you down.
athletic.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, linebacker type, you know, they
Chasing
linebacker
linebackers,
type,
yeah.
you know, defensive ends now, man. Like even the defensive tackles are leaning down. Like there's a couple of big ones, but for the most part, the defensive tackles are leaning down too. And it's just like, man, like
Exactly.
everybody's getting more and more athletic, and the quarterback position is starting. You know, especially even when like RG3 was out there, like, and Andrew Luck is another one who like he was more athletic than he looked, right? Like, you know, he had to be a little bit more athletic because he was in that era of like, you know, hey, like I gotta move around, you know, I gotta find, you know, I gotta find this spot here, I gotta make a play with my legs every so often or something like that. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I definitely think white quarterbacks get a little bit more of a, still to this day, a little bit more of a leeway, a little bit more of a, it's kind of like, hey, you know, well, he was drafted high overall, so, you know, I got to give him another chance. Or, you know, like, I mean, we've seen plenty of times, even just like this season alone, you know, you got guys who maybe haven't played in a little bit of time, but you got guys who, I mean,
What's his name? San Francisco, they sent to the Dollars.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
You think he had an opportunity there? He played one
You
season,
talking
he
about
got hurt the next season, they traded him.
You talking about in San Francisco?
Yeah. Now you see what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think so. But you know, I think different organizations are. I think organizations are kind of different too, because like, you know, so for me, and like I'm not, and like I said, I'm talking from a fan's perspective. I'm not talking from I know this, that, and the third. I'm talking from a fan's perspective and how I would run an NFL organization, right? If I drafted you high overall, I'm gonna give you every single chance I can for you to be successful. You know, you might be a bust, but I'm gonna know for a darn fact you a bust. It ain't gonna be you had one bad season. We didn't put weapons around you. We didn't get a good defense with you. We had bad coaching the whole time. Like no. I didn't draft the right players. No, like we gonna know everything we need to know. And I think with Trey Lance, I don't think we really got to see it. Right? I think like they traded up to get him, and then
Purdy in.
That, you know, yeah, I mean Purdy. I mean, I think because of the injuries, Purdy earned his spot, and Purdy played well last year, right? So you had no reason to believe until the last couple of games. You know, you had no reason to believe that Purdy was an issue. But then, you know, as injuries started to happen and stuff like that, Purdy's not a move. You know, what was he just talking about? Purdy is not a movement guy, right? So he's a statue. So I don't have to worry about you running. And because I don't have to worry about you running, I can play better coverage on the back end, or I can get after you and, you know, with blitzes.
Before we move on, though, but I'm starting to think the NFL itself hasn't grasped this yet. Because you remember, it started with the Red Commanders with RG3 and what's his name? When you don't know which one you want to play. You got somebody that's real dynamic, but then you got just the basic quarterback.
Right.
You feel me?
You're right.
It's like the NFL itself haven't grasped what they want to do. Same thing in Chicago. You got offensive coordinator who want to do it where the quarterback is just getting out. Two. That's not the kind of quarterback you got. You know what I'm saying? So we need people to first of all, the NFL itself got to catch up to this here. Like these teams cannot keep forcing the issue to these dynamic quarterbacks to make them Montana. You know what I'm saying? Just like that's going backwards. That's not why they here. You know what I'm saying? Make it work like this, the way they do it. You know what I'm saying? I just think if it's used right and correctly, right, you can be an almost unstoppable offense, bro. If you use your quarterback right, that can do this. Like my quarterback ran for 1,200 yards, right? I think your quarterback ran for more than that. Because matter of fact, yeah, he got the lead.
It's just by a little bit.
Exactly. That's a lot of yards. You know what I'm saying? For a quarterback.
Yeah.
So you got to use that. You got to harness that and be like, hold on. He basically can run like running backs out here. So we can just, so many plays you can run like that. It's just like, you should not be stopped with a quarterback that can literally play all positions. You feel me?
I think
you put him on receiver.
Yeah. My other thing too is, and I said this before about Lamar Jackson as a player and him wanting to be able to pass the ball more, you have to use his athletic ability to your advantage. He is dangerous with his legs. He will break off and run on you on a scramble with his legs. But there's nothing wrong with using his legs as a decoy, running them out on a rollout and sneaking somebody behind, like we saw it a couple weeks ago against, I think it was the Lions. The last game we talked about together, like you saw, he rolled out like he was gonna run. You got some, you make sure ain't nobody ineligible downfield. You sneak the Mark Andrews behind him. I mean, that's a touchdown right there, right? Like, I think sometimes, and I think Cam said it as well on his show. He said, hey, like sometimes you just got to simplify this stuff. It don't got to be nothing crazy. It don't got to be, sometimes, he says sometimes like all the wordsmith type stuff where you like, you got to say 32 Y orange banana with a broken toenail. And, like when you got to say all that, sometimes it gets overcomplicated when people are only looking for one word, a couple of words in the play. Like the receivers, they know you say something about why, okay, that's me. All right, I'm going. They know already. Yeah. So it's like, like use, even with the Bears, what the Bears should be doing a little more is using Justin Fields, using the fact that everybody in the league knows his ability as a runner and use that to his advantage in the passing game, right? Exactly. You especially on these like 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts and stuff like that, in the red zone, when you can move him around a little bit and he can say, all right, I mean, shoot, Justin Fields is 6'3". I think he's taller than any of the other mobile quarterbacks out there right now, right? So like if you let him move, maybe just move to one side and then you see somebody behind it. I mean, that's easy right there, because I'm gonna look at Justin Fields because and another thing too, play off the narrative then, Chicago, right? Oh, he can't pass. He's not accurate. He can't throw. Okay, cool. Play off that narrative. Why don't you go out there and run a little bit of that play action boot type stuff? Run a little bit of that, like, oh, he can't pass, so we gonna come collapse in on him, and then you got somebody right over the top. Easy money.
Exactly. But yeah, that's a good topic right there, because it's really evolving right now as we speak in the NFL. With it's really haven't been grasped yet. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see soon later. As far as I'm concerned, I can tell you, Ravens quarterback, your quarterback, is really meshed the two things together pretty good. To be honest with you. So, as far as he's concerned, he ahead of my quarterback in years right now. But I think he really found the sweet spot that we all looking for this type of athletic quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What did you think about your man getting fired out in Vegas?
I mean,
damn,
it's Josh McDaniels, man. Like everywhere he go, unless it's New England, where he got Bill Belichick to tell him no, it's just not a success. Like he went back to New England as an offensive coordinator, and that's how he got the job with the Raiders. Yeah, right. Like I don't know if Josh McDaniels ever gets another job again, because I think he's had 3. I think one he quit on before he even started. Yeah, he'd probably go back to New England possibly, because that's where he's successful at, and he's shown that he can be successful in New England. But in terms of being a head coach, I don't in the NFL. I just don't see it. That's a whole you want to talk about topics. Black coaches versus white coaches is a whole nother topic we can have, because they give Josh McDaniels a whole nother opportunity for Eric Bieniemy get one. But anyway, that's true. It's just it's one of those things, man, where it's just like, I don't know why. It's weird that they keep taking chances on Josh McDaniels. Like, I'm not surprised by this. I mean, you put Josh McDaniels, a guy who has proven that he is not a good coach yet, with an organization that is proven they can't do nothing but get in their own way. Like, what do you expect? Like, I mean, only thing that could have been worse is putting Josh McDaniels on the Browns before Deshaun Watson got there. Like that's, I mean,
and then what your man expect? Had a fit the other night. You think that's why he got fired? Devontae Adams was having a fit the other night.
I mean,
like the next time you get fired. Like, what's that about?
I mean,
And
I
the
think
GM, shit.
I think the writing was on the wall a little bit, man. Like I mean, you think about it. Like, yes, they got rid of Derek Carr, which was a big loss, but they bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, and you expect to at least be competitive, and they really haven't been. They got last year's leading rusher, and it feels like he's taking a step back, and it probably ain't his fault, but it just feels like he's taking a step back. You got a guy who was a lot of people were calling a top 5 receiver before he came there, and Devontae Adams. And he looks like he's struggling, and we all know how talented he is. So something,
that is
you got
true.
an offensive head coach, something's amiss, something's amiss. And
I really think it's the quarterback, man.
yeah, I mean, I think so too. I think I think they were mistaken for going and get Jimmy G. I didn't think it was a bad idea at the time, but I think now in hindsight, I can admit that I feel like, I think I was glad that Derek Carr got out of there, because Derek Carr needed to be in a place where people actually believed in him too. Not to say he's playing well either, but
Jimmy
it's just
G,
like
he a backup.
yeah, I mean,
They
and that's
keep making
another
him
guy who
starters,
gets
but he just
that's
backup.
another guy who's like a glorified game manager, gets chance after chance after chance.
Exactly.
I mean,
these
like
game
for
managers.
let's be honest, right? Jacoby Brissett, what he did with the Browns last year to just keep them afloat and keep them moving while Deshaun wasn't out there, and he's still sitting in a backup somewhere. Look how long it took Geno Smith to get another chance. Exactly. Now that Geno Smith got it, hey, he ain't letting it go. But like, I think that's the thing about it.
The
Like,
rest
I
of these
think
quarterbacks be around forever. Dalton, just what do they still? They still pick these quarterbacks up, bro. It's like, and we all know why, because they do. They say, quote, they run the offense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I don't get it.
Yeah,
and
I've always found it weird though. Like, why? I can understand bringing Dalton in, but why wouldn't you bring in another guy like Bryce Young in Carolina, right? Like, I can learn a lot from you. Yes, like for example, like when Lamar was a rookie, I think the fact that RG3 was there and could tell him what to do and what not to do, along with the Super Bowl winning quarterback in Joe Flacco, I think the combination of the two is what helped, right?
That's true.
The quarterback room is big for those young quarterbacks. Why doesn't Bryce Young have another guy that's kind of a little bit more athletic and can show him? Because Andy Dalton ain't doing the things that Bryce Young can do. So, like, I can't teach you, hey, if you roll into the left, all I know is if I'm rolling to the left, I'm probably running for my life by Andy Dalton, right?
Yeah.
Bryce Young probably rolled to the left for a reason, like he,
ASAP,
by
man.
design,
It's like, like your quarterback, my quarterback, when they get out there, it's no looking to slide. It's looking to what's the opening, because I'm about to go 80. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a different look for these quarterbacks. Like if Dalton get out the pocket, he's rushing to slide somewhere real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if Jackson get out the pocket, he's looking to cut back or see opening so he can just go. You know what I'm saying? Dog? Same thing with Justin Fields. They look for an opening. They trying to dip, not slide. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference. That makes them dynamic. It makes them the X factor on the squad.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the trade deadline just passed away and shit. It was a lot moving. There was a lot going on though. But one main thing that happened for the Chicago Bears, picked up Montez Sweat. What you think of him before he came to the Bears?
I mean, he was highly talented in college as like a really fast rusher, like a really good speed rusher. It's weird because I don't feel like I've heard a lot out of him. I'm sure he's still been playing well, but they had him, they had Chase Young, I think Deron Payne, right? They had other guys who people were kind of keying in on more than Montez Sweat. And I think sometimes Montez Sweat kind of took a back seat. I think I saw something that said Montez Sweat got more sacks this year than the Bears, the whole team combined, the whole defense combined. So like that's big for y'all, to add a guy like him, into the fold. I think
that's the key point.
I think it's good.
And then another thing, right? The whole last year was getting rid of players, and you know what I'm saying? Like they blew the whole team up last year, right? That's why I told you beginning of the year. I'm not expecting that. Like I'm not expecting like the first couple of games for us to be blowing everybody out the box. You know what I'm saying? I expect the GM to keep doing what he doing like this. Keep plugging players in, putting players in this joint. You know what I'm saying? Build the
Yeah.
roster, basically. You know what I'm saying, dog? And then
Yeah.
as you build a roster, we can see things happening on the field get better and better. You know what I'm saying? But in the meanwhile, you can't flip a roster and then expect them to win the first 2 games or 3 games all together again the following year. I just don't see the logic in that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to give these teams time to mesh. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
now, we realize that our front four is not getting enough rush. Boom, you go out and get Montez Sweat. So we played enough games to realize certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We need to upgrade on. And when you got opportunity to pick him up, you do that. You know what I'm saying? You building a roster. I think to me, I think I like my GM. You know what I'm saying? I really like everything he's been doing since we've been. I don't want to discuss the DJ Moore trade because that's automatic. That's lovable. You know what I'm saying? But I just like everything he be doing, man. It's like get the best players possible now.
And
You
it
know what I'm saying?
and like what I do like about y'all's GM, because I think the Bears get a lot of flack for misses or what they didn't do or like what they did but didn't work out. Like at least he's being aggressive and he's trying, right? Like
Exactly.
Claypool, everybody wants to be like, oh, ha ha ha, the Bears traded for Claypool and now he's already off the roster. Yeah, I get that. I don't think I would have personally given up on him that quickly. But at the same time, I mean, you don't know what's going on in the locker room either. Like I don't, right?
That was the problem. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but he's trying, right? Like he literally
Exactly.
in the over the course
Take a
of the
shot.
last season and off season has surrounded Justin Fields with premium talent at the wide receiver position, or at least guys who have been there and done that before. So why, like I can't be mad at that. And then to go get Montez Sweat too. I mean, like I would, I was a little bit mad the Ravens didn't go get him. If Washington just fire selling their whole young defensive line, I mean, we got injuries at the defensive line right now, or the rush positions at least. So I mean, I get it.
And I know
I
some of
understand it.
the Commanders fans too. There's some of them they was mad at first. Come on now, it's cool now because they couldn't pay everybody. Then I stop and say, okay, is that a GM malpractice where you draft 4 number 1 defensive tackles back to back to back?
Yeah, I think.
What the heck?
Well, the crazy part is, like
First
Montez Sweat been in the
rounders.
league for
Hold
what,
on.
about 4 years now, I think. Him and Chase Young, they both been in the league for
Exactly.
for a little bit now.
Yeah.
And like that was the whole key. Like they was building this elite defense,
You ain't coming
and
on.
then there's gonna have the
It's
offense
tough.
kind of
It's a tough
piggyback on it.
grind
And
now.
now, like,
It ain't
like
that.
yeah, I mean, and also like I think a GM malpractice is not being able to sign your guys. Right? Why can't you figure out a way to sign Montez Sweat and Chase Young?
Yeah, I
You
understand
got
that
elite
either.
pass rushers right there.
I didn't get that either. It's like they are on your team. You know what I'm saying? It's like you did draft them. Even though I don't think no other GM would draft that many all back to back like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You missed out somewhere on receiver, running back, or somebody. Like you did some crazy shit. You did that. Like
Yeah.
how many you need down that joint? God damn. But all of them is a hit. Now I'm not gonna lie. Him, Young, except for Young got hurt. And the rest of them, they nice on that front four.
Well,
You know?
and the good part for the Bears too, you pairing Montez Sweat, Unique Ngakoue, it's only gonna make both of them better. It's you
And,
put
and
one
plus
really
keep
good rusher
Ngakwe.
with another really good rusher,
Makes
it's only
sense,
gonna
man.
make them better.
That's what I mean. Like he reaching out there and grabbing the best players possible at this
Yeah,
point in time, and I like that.
and it's obvious that y'all ain't trying to like fire sale to hold on. Y'all ain't having a yard sale in the front yard talking about we getting rid of everybody because Jalen Johnson
Yeah.
wanted to
We did
trade
that
too.
last year. We did that last year.
Jalen Johnson wanted to trade. He wanted to get out of there, but y'all said
We won a
we
one
built.
for him, bro.
Yeah, we building for something here. So
Think
it
about it.
might
The
take a little
GM
time.
said you can go and get traded, but I want a one back. Dude, you know what? He gonna be walking his ass back with his tail between his legs for sure. Ain't nobody give you no one. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That was smart. That was smart negotiation. Go out there, find out what you can get, but tell them to give me a one when they get you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody giving up no one for you. So that was smart. I like that. You know. But I don't know what's been going on with Odell Beckham. He been quiet.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. I watched this video. Shout out to Sip to Tally Films. Really good film guy. He got another channel, more Sip to Tally, where he talk about other teams other than the Ravens. But I watched him for the Ravens stuff, and he was talking about Odell. He was talking about the title of the video is Odell washed, right? Because that's what everybody been saying. Odell's washed. He can't get open. He can't get separation. He ain't making the catches. He don't got any touchdowns on the year. Like, is he really making big plays? And when you watch the videos, you see Odell's getting open, but the corners are playing in emergency mode, right? Because Odell's getting open, so they holding him. So he's picking up a lot of penalties. He's picking up a lot of penalty yards, and what don't go on the stat sheet? Penalty yards. Not for the receiver at least, right? So they don't correlate to receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. So like even just watching that video today, it's like I think Rashad Bateman should get some more chances too. I think they should play Bateman, Zay Flowers, and honestly, they should play Bateman, Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, Mark Andrews, all of them on the field at the same time if you can do it. But I think
the game the other day, he looked frustrated to me.
Remember? Yeah, he was frustrated because he's been getting held all year long.
He have a touchdown in 3 years or some shit.
Yeah, he's been getting held all year long, and you think about it. Like, I'm sure I can guarantee you, especially with his injuries as of late too, there's probably a playing like how many games you play incentive in his contract, and there probably is some sort of touchdowns incentive in his contract. So he's like, I want to make this money, not just for being greedy, but like I'm here, I'm open, I'm open. They hold me, I can't do that. Like what happens to do? It's an interesting video to watch because like you see, like every time like he gets a little bit of separation, I'm gonna grab him. Every time. I'm not gonna give up a touchdown to Odell. I give up this penalty yardage, but I ain't gonna give up a touchdown.
Exactly. Not because
and that's what you talk to do.
Yeah, they talk so much to DBs so much. They be like, "Fuck that, you just ain't scoring." I'm gonna take this motherfucking penalty out here. I'm not letting you score.
Yep.
They're gonna have sneak tush push this bitch. You won't get it. Don't give a fuck when they motherfucking do the penalty at. They're gonna tush push it. You won't score, man. Well, I don't know. What y'all got going on with the next on y'all schedule from this point on?
So I know next up we got the Seahawks, which is a tough one. The Seahawks are a sneaky 5-2 team or 6-2 team. They don't feel like they should be 6-2, but they are. By hook or by crook, they found a way to be 6-2. I think that'll be a tough one. Then of course you got the division games coming up. I feel like the bye is forever away. I feel like this 4-game stretch before the bye comes, if they can find a way to get out of this stretch unscathed 4-0, think about how big that would be for the Ravens. Like to pretty much you would sweep the division, right? At least the Browns and Bengals version of it. Of course, you have to lose to the Steelers because whatever, but you would sweep the division with those two teams at least. And then, you got a couple tough out-of-division games, one AFC, one NFC with the Seahawks and the Chargers. I think when it comes down to the Seahawks, the Seahawks are tough. The Chargers are tough too.
They're starting to play a little better on offense.
But, at least with the Chargers, you've seen them struggle early on, so you kind of know what to exploit it. The Seahawks, I think you've seen them struggle, but I think they find ways to win. I think they're well coached in that regard. They find ways to win. They find ways to put up points. They find ways to compete every single week. And it's crazy, man. But if they can win 3 or 4 of these, it would be nice. I think winning all 4 is tough, just because you got division games in there too. You got division games in there too. That's tough. But when we talking, well, they're division home games. So you might do you got 4 straight home games. Really got 6 straight home games.
Y'all next game is Detroit, right?
Or 5. No. We got Seahawks and then the Browns. It's the Seahawks, the Browns, the Bengals, and then the Chargers, then the bye week in week 13. So with the Seahawks, you kind of just gotta, keep doing what you've been doing. Play clean, the Seahawks can be one of those games where you might see the same output you saw against the Lions, right? Where they come out just clicking on all cylinders, number one, because the Seahawks traveling cross country. But number two, and they playing at a different time that they normally do. But, number two, it's like, if you could just play a clean game, and the Ravens have been doing a little bit better at playing clean lately. The Cardinals game was not their best game, but you still put up 31 points. You feel good about that. If you can still put up 31 points in a iffy outing, you still, you feel okay about that. But
This is gonna be rocky, right? When you go Seattle, Bengals, San Diego, Chargers. Y'all going by though after that?
yeah, like I said, this a tough 4-game stretch because
Yeah.
you got 2 division games, right, back to back. And then sprinkled in between, right? Sprinkled on the outsides, I guess, right? You got the Seahawks, which is a top NFC opponent. Let's just put it like that. And then the Chargers, who have the talent of a top top AFC opponent.
That's 4 joints is tough.
But like I said, if they can get out of here, 2-2, I think is the worst they'll go in this stretch. But if they can come out of here 4-0, 3-1. You feeling pretty good.
True. So now, so far, I'm basically where I thought we were. I think we should have at least 2 more wins. But other than that, the overall process, I'm basically where we are. I thought we were going to be, right? So the next game we got coming up right now is New Orleans, Sunday. Now, I haven't got a chance to watch the Saints this year yet. So I'm not really familiar with the defense or nothing. So I don't even know what we're about to get into on Sunday. So, but I think the offense might be a little bit. I don't even think he playing. I don't think what's the name playing in this game? I think he got hurt. Carr.
I can't remember right off.
I don't think he playing. So you got our next joint is that game. Then we play Carolina, Detroit, and Minnesota before we go on by. Now, this is a tough stretch for us too. Gonna think about it, because now we got New Orleans, Carolina. Now Carolina out of all these games might be the one where we can get some breather, but we never know. But for sure, Detroit and Minnesota is gonna be tough. So if we can literally squeak out the New Orleans and Charlotte game, right, which will make us 4-6, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Charlotte game on Justin Fields should be back. So by that time, we had to play Detroit and Minnesota with a healthy Justin Fields, 4-6, with the chance to be 6-6 before the bye. So my goal would, before we go on the bye, at least be 5-7, right? At the very least. So what I want to do in these next 4 games is at least win 2 of them. If we can squeak 3 of them out, bonus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to the bye, and I think that last stretch with Detroit, Cleveland, Arizona, Atlanta, we need to get 4 out of these last 5. So to me, right, that's doable. To be honest with
you. I think that's gonna be tough, right? Because now, to me, New Orleans is not great.
So man,
I think New Orleans is very talented. I think they're finding their way, right? Because Alvin Kamara is getting back. Michael Thomas is he's getting back. They're talented. They're really talented. Mm-hmm. So I think that could be a tough one. Yeah. In terms of, I think for the Bears and the Panthers, it's a perfect time to kind of lock in and get a couple wins in. And kind of get yourself back in the playoff race, because a lot of people feel like the Bears at 2-6 are out of the playoff race. The Panthers at 1-6 are out of the playoff race. But look at the rest of the NFC, right? Exactly. You got the Washington Commanders are 3-5, the New York Giants are 2-6, the Green Bay Packers are 2-5, the Vikings are 4-4. They just lost their quarterback for the year, right? You You know, I mean, you got the Saints at 4-4, the Falcons at 4-4, Tampa Bay is 3-4. So I mean, you 2 games back from a lot of these teams.
Exactly.
And then lastly, in the NFC West, you got the Rams at 3-5, and they don't look like they know what they want to be, and the Cardinals at 1-7. You're not out of the playoff race. The top teams in the NFC are the top teams in the NFC. But other than that, that's about it.
If you say Philadelphia, Cowboys, Lions, right? After that, everybody's a game apart.
Well, yeah, and it's like, you know, and I guess you got to take into account too. Let's just say Philadelphia and Dallas get in from the East, right? Because they're just so far ahead.
That's true.
So that's 2 playoff spots right there. Let's say Detroit gets in the North, right? Because they're so far ahead. So that's 3 playoff spots. Then somebody got to get in from the South, right? Somebody got to get in from the South. I think that division is about as up in the air as you can get. So that's a 4 spot that's already taken. So I mean, you got like pretty much you got 5 spots. It feels like that's already taken, right? So it's 2 more spots in the crapshoot of the rest of this league, and it's kind of hard because you got the Niners too, right? The Niners are 5-3, and they'll probably make the playoffs out of the NFC West. So I mean, you really only get like 1 or 2 more spots to try to fill in.
Exactly.
But also, like even with the Panthers kind of have an advantage in that respect, because if you look at it, the Panthers play in the South, so somebody got to come out of that division, and the Panthers are 1-6, but Atlanta's 4-4.
True.
And they lead the division right now, and the Saints are 4-4. The Tampa Bay's 3-4. So it's
then when you really look at the NFC, it's really not that many good teams. The rest of the teams are basically the same. You can pluck out 4 teams out of the whole conference, but everybody else is the same.
Yep, that's true.
So I don't know if we could just turn up, make sure our defense keep cranking the way it is. We've been holding people to run to under 50 yards a game for the last 4 weeks. We just keep stuff up like that. We just added Montez Swift so he puts pressure on the quarterback. Just keep doing stuff like this. It's going to break, bro. We're going to run off 3-4 straight. It's going to happen. Like we could have did it with that Minnesota game, but Justin Fields got hurt. That would have been the game right there. We won 3 straight. You see what I'm saying? So it's coming.
It's funny. It's funny. I've gotten a lot of backlash this week because I host the Panthers podcast, and I was talking about how the Panthers are back in the playoff race, and people are like, "Oh, it's only 1 win. You're crazy." I'm like, look at the rest of the NFC, and come back to me. Look at the rest of the NFC and come back to me. Yes, it's crazy to think, but the rest of it's not. This ain't the NFC of last year.
Exactly. Everything is bottled up, real close.
Now,
So
the
up until
AFC,
now,
on the other hand,
what the week is this? Up until week 9, what will be your MVP candidate up to now, this moment?
That's a good question. We talking about throughout the entire league?
Yeah, this is 9 weeks.
It's funny because I'm still kind of thinking about this because I know you sent it to me. I'm still kind of thinking about it. I think I definitely got an offensive player of the year right now, right? I definitely got an offensive player of the year with Tyreek Hill.
Okay,
just in the way he been doing stuff. But man, this is right now. I don't know. That's tough, man. Like, because I don't want to be a homer and say Lamar because he's been playing at an MVP level, right? And I don't want to be a homer and say Lamar, even though I want to say Lamar. So I'm not going to. I'm gonna be nice. All right, I'm gonna be nice, and I'm gonna go over here and look at everybody else. I think Christian McCaffrey deserves a lot of credit for the MVP. Now, are they gonna give a running back the MVP? Because I mean, it might as well be the quarterback MVP award. I think Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill deserve props for the MVP award, right? Because Christian McCaffrey got a touchdown in 17 straight games or something, including the playoffs. Like, who does that? Tyreek Hill is, what did they say? He's already
He on
over
pace for
1,000.
2,000 or
He's
something?
he's already over 1,000 yards. We're 8 games into the season.
Yeah, he on pace for 2,000. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you got a 2,000-yard receiver, I'm sorry. I
That
don't
might
really
be
care what the quarterbacks do. If you got a 2,000-yard receiver, he better win MVP.
That's
Now, I feel the same way about 2,000-yard running backs. That's why I felt like Derrick Henry a couple years ago should have won
should
MVP
win
too,
MVP.
because 2,000. You talking about a 2,000-yard back in a passing league on a team where they know he's the feature back.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just my thoughts on that one. I mean, so
Mm.
like my like 1A would probably be Lamar, just because like I mean I know what he means. Like, like
What's our record?
6-2. 6-2. And it's like, because I mean, even when you look at like the MVP odds list, like Jalen Hurts is in here. Jalen Hurts ain't outplayed Lamar. I'm sorry. He just hasn't. Jalen Hurts has not been that good. I don't even
So
feel
you
like
said
I've been.
McCaffrey and then Lamar Jackson, right?
I would say, so my three like that I feel good about. I would say Lamar Jackson. I would say Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey. Because I think we like
That is.
I feel like offensive player of the year was created so we can give an offensive MVP. We can give the MVP award to somebody outside of a quarterback. But I also don't think that's fair to a 2,000-yard receiver, possibly.
True.
Or a guy who's had a touchdown in 17 straight games.
Especially if he end up with 2,000.
Yeah.
My joint, I'm gonna have to go with Lamar Jackson, man. Like right for now. And then I mean, it's not that many people that's close. To be honest with you.
And I mean, if you think of, because a lot of people don't, and this is the thing, this is the hard part about the MVP award, because sometimes it becomes a stat sheet fest, right? Like you have to look at the stat sheet, and is Lamar Jackson leading the league in touchdown passes? No. Is Lamar Jackson leading the league in rushing touchdowns? No. But is he leading the league in yards? No. But when you got a guy that's over 80-some% of your offense, he's literally been your leading rusher for the past couple of seasons. He might be right now. I think he's actually not for this year. Like, I think he deserves a little bit of credit for that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, bro. Just because they haven't been looking good though, but he has been pulling it off. He's been playing hurt, so I don't know. I still ride with him, but not before Lamar Jackson. I go 1A, 1B with them two on that right there. With my man in Philly sniffing the asshole, but he not there yet. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't think Jalen has played as well as it looks like he's played. Like
he'll have one good. Like that last game was nice.
Yeah,
Last game they played.
I
But then you
think
watch the game before that, and
I think a guy that probably won't ever get no credit when it comes to the MVP race, but deserves a little bit more would be Tua. I could put Tua over Lamar maybe, because somebody got to be throwing Tyreek the ball. I'm sorry. And Tua is accurate. He gets the job done.
What's their record?
They 6-2.
Lost 3 games, right? Oh.
They 6-2.
Maybe.
Actually, Mahomes and Tua get to play this weekend. Well, they don't get to play in Kansas City or Miami, but they play in Germany.
I hate those games. By the time I wake up, that shit all over with.
Right.
I was like, it was a game today? Shit. Let's get ready for the games. I was like, that shit never happened. It's 1 o'clock yet? What's going on? Ready to get it in. I can't wait this week, right? Get it in, boy. I'm just mad my man ain't back yet, but I just love watching my team regardless, so I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Before we get out here, though, it's Sunday coming up. All the games coming up. We're going to give our bold prediction of who we think, what player going to stand out this Sunday in the NFL this week. So who you think about? Who you came up with?
Let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna be. I might have to be a homer again here. Okay. I might have to be a homer again here. Okay. Um. Okay. I'm gonna give two options. I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I like to cheat sometimes. So I'm gonna say for the Ravens, I'm going to say Odell Beckham. I think he's gonna have a big week this week. I'm just feeling. I feel a breakout coming. Okay. I feel a breakthrough. I feel it coming. Okay. That's what I'm gonna say about him. And then over the rest of the NFL, that's a good question right now. Over the rest of the NFL, I can't be a homer twice, can I? Can't be a homer twice, can I?
So we got Miami going against Kansas City, Minnesota against Atlanta, Arizona against the Cleveland. Now, is what's name back yet? The Cleveland? Or they still playing PJ Walker?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know.
PJ Walker. It's just like some of these backups, you just look at it and be like, yeah, this is lost. It's like, yeah, we lost this one shit. Before the joint.
You know what? I'm gonna say my bold prediction is Jordan Addison continues to do his thing regardless of who his quarterback is. That's what I'm gonna say. Just imagine him with Justin Jefferson when they get to play together a little bit later, especially if they can figure out what the heck they're gonna do to their quarterback. Because I know they got Josh Dobbs now, but come on now.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna jump out there and say, damn, oh no, man. All right, my bold prediction for this week gonna be. This is so much going on in the NFL. It's hardly.
So can I say one more? Can I say one more as it comes out?
Good.
My other bold prediction, and this one might be a little far fetched. Okay. My other bold prediction is the 1-7 Cardinals light the Browns up because number one, Kyler Murray is back. I don't know if he actually is. That's why I'm being bold on this one because I don't know if he's coming back this week.
They haven't announced it yet. Yeah.
I think he's available to be started, but it just depends on how he feels.
I'm gonna jump out there and say, God, what's my name, man? What's Tampa Bay quarterback name?
Baker.
I'm gonna jump out and say Baker Mayfield gonna have a big day Sunday.
Okay. For the Panthers fan in me, I need them to lose. I need y'all to go ahead and beat the Saints. That's just how I need the Panthers to win, of course. That needs to happen. That's gots to happen. Okay.
You say you need the Panthers to win?
I need the Panthers to win. For the Panthers fan in me. We're talking about the Panthers fan in me.
Okay, I got you.
Not the Ravens fan. Y'all, so this for y'all who don't know me yet. I need that to happen. I can't find the other. Oh, I need the Falcons to lose too. I don't care who playing quarterback for the Vikings. I need the Falcons to lose. Okay. That's
all right, so I'm gonna give my one more too, though, right? My bold prediction for us winning and losses, right? I think Dallas is gonna beat Philly.
Okay.
Is that a bold prediction?
I mean, I kind of because here's the thing about Dallas, right? Dallas has played good until they played good teams.
That's true.
So, I mean, now albeit one of the losses was to the Cardinals, but like they haven't looked good in that other loss. I think was to the Niners. They looked horrible. So.
Yeah, that's my bold prediction right there. I just think we're gonna be surprised this week by them. For sure. But my man's still hurt. He haven't come back yet. So next time we come back on here, hopefully he'll be back. We might have one game under our belt by the time he come back. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Hopefully. But we gotta we come Thursday. We play Thursday night. Sunday, Thursday night. I'm hoping he'll be back Thursday night at least. And we can just start our runoff, baby.
JF1. Do y'all play the Panthers on Thursday night or no?
That is the Thursday night.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shit. I didn't realize that.
So we come back. I'm hoping he come back for that game. But
Oh, wow,
yeah,
okay.
after that, he'll be back after that regardless. But hopefully
My
that game.
bold prediction for the Panthers playing the Bears. Let me stop.
That's the Panther Bears joint. You never know. That's 1 and 2 pick. You never know. We try and get away from that. You know what I'm saying, Doc? And keep their ass at number 1 so we can take that pick. Now, everybody don't know we got their pick for this year.
That's true.
If they lose, they ball them out. Got me looking. Damn, at least we get a high pick. Nope, the Bears have it. For sure. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You got something to say we got here though?
Nah, I mean, of course, it's always fun linking back up again, man, and talking these Ravens and these Bears, man. It's always a good time. Been doing this for a long time, the both of us. We like the old heads. We've been doing
most definitely.
We've been doing this for the. I give my shameless plug like I always do. You can make sure you check us out on all the major podcasting platforms. Okay, Spotify, YouTube, all of them. I know YouTube is not technically a major. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, put your Third Perspective podcast and then put your Fly Nation Speaks. If you real technical with it, you might can play them over at the same time. You never know what might come out. Okay, you get the Ravens Bears
podcast. In the bathroom and one playing in the living room when you come out. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna end up with the Ravens Bears podcast. And you didn't even know it.
Exactly. You living good then. We do appreciate everybody though be tuning in for sure. Be back with more Ravens. I know a lot of y'all like Ravens, and y'all better like them Bears. You know what I'm saying? More Bears.